Greetings, folks, one and all. Sunday, glorious Sunday. Today is October 4th, and it's nice to be with you today. Wait for some other folks to show up too. I believe we're anticipating 3 other people. Hopefully, this schedule works for them too. Next week we'll do one earlier, about 8 hours earlier. And there was some talk about changing the name to something more generally appealing, though I do believe that Elysium should continue on as one of our subsections, subsidiaries, communities. Perhaps not one that everybody identifies with, though. I think it's a very effective word to help bring a lot of these interrelated themes together into one powerful force. I said the force. But Earthlight is also a great name that potentially is more appealing, more widely appealing. Though I did point out that Earthlight only suggests of this planet. So we've already outgrown it, but that has yet to catch up with us, the larger community. So such a word would be fine to use for a little while longer. A blessing. Recently developed something pretty exciting that I'd like to share with you this blessing time. This is a variation on the transfiguration ceremony. This is a guided meditation for transfiguration. Hope you like it. Give me a few moments to bring it up, though. I developed this at the request of some folks for participation in the larger community of participants. So this will be presented tomorrow, and very excited about this because transfiguration is an amazing process. Light is not all that exists, but light has a lot of appealing qualities to it. But we need both, the seed needs the darkness to awaken into the light and gain nourishment, inspiration. So beginning, perhaps afterwards, after you hear this, you'll be able to get some feedback of how it worked for you, maybe some suggestions to improve it too. But calming down, quieting, and seeking this space of peace begins. Breathing in and out. Close the eyes, embracing these moments, this space. There you are. We are finding ourselves here. I am dreaming awake, drifting out and in. Now we find ourselves beside ourselves on earth. I am you, and you are I. The calling has drawn us together. Here we are. There I am, floating on a river, waking up. There is no need to look around because we are already aware. The cosmic sight that sees all directions. Breathing in, knowing oneness. Breathing out through infinite space. drifting through infinite space, turning, slowly turning. To a new direction, we are pulled upward, floating bubbly to the surface. Breath breaks through. Light, absolute. We're now within a great bright cavern, floating jewels on a beautiful sea in a giant luminous crystal. With every breath, reaching closer, drifting inward, slowly we find our seed. Finally, the journey is fulfilled, each of us, opening at our own right time. These seeds, blossoming petals of light, magnificence in us, amazing splendor of this crystal cave. We are floating seeds, opening our petals in colors and brilliance. Turning and spinning, we feel free to be. Rise, rise up, and shine. Now at the center of our many-petaled hibiscus flowers, there comes forth a joining in of a million sparkling dewdrops. Everything evaporates into this oneness at the divine heart. I am a conscious body expanding the light of awareness within and diminishing the darkness, melting into the cosmic splendor of infinity. Million sparkling dewdrops. So I would like for some other folks to be able to share in the blessing as well, but it looks like I am not joined by any of the other participants at this time, so that's our blessing for today. Unless, like Richard showed up last week, a little ways into it, if somebody wants to share a blessing, perhaps in closing too. But wanted to remind you folks of this. This was the summer solstice engage. And there's another one coming up for the winter solstice. And probably use a similar variation on the design. So look for that. It's should be in your invitations area because it's already been put onto Google Plus, but just haven't developed it that much. We know what we're doing in this area. I hope that you can get some inspiration for what can be done around where you are. The description for this one said, this experience will be a family reunion for the Ripples of Wellness community and open house to meet emissaries of local organizations to initiate a new renaissance of consciousness together. We will explore the many connections between health, sustainable happiness, and peace work. The interactive program will consist of share and tell opportunities, raffle with prizes, nature walk. We actually ended up doing a park cleanup too along the bike trail, followed by a group activity, questions and answers, and potluck picnic. Please join us for this presentation for quality family time. These will be the good old days of the future. And it had a quote from Gandhi down at the bottom too. I believe in the absolute oneness of God and therefore of humanity. What though we have many bodies, we have but one soul. Which reminds me, I have something pretty amazing that I've developed, which isn't fully done yet, but I like the transfiguration meditation, but I also like this a lot too. Let's see if I can find it quickly without taking too much time at it. Speaking of the ripples of wellness, this is an opportunity to bring this to larger scale, as I've been talking about lately. And not quite sure what it looks like yet, but this is a description of a caucus, which is like a think tank or a debate discussion between multiple perspectives presented on a similar topic. So this is what I have so far for the caucus. I'm going to associate that ripple image with this description, and I'll post it on Ripples of Wellness, the Google Plus community, so folks can see more what I mean. But I'm pretty happy about this so far. At first it was going to be called Perspectives on Peace. I was going to be doing it with somebody else, but she changed her mind and thought that our perspectives were too different on peace working. So she wanted to do it by herself. So I wasn't sure what to do about it, continue on, change the name. Get some other people to present with me. But somebody pointed out there'd be a good opportunity to promote the Ripples of Wellness tradition. I agree. I wrote the original 25-word description for Perspectives on Peace, but didn't want to use the same one, so it took me a little while to develop this. This is the description of the caucus for the Alternatives Conference coming up in Memphis, Tennessee, October 14th to the 18th. It says, Ripples of Wellness is a spectrum of viewpoints, creating a ripple effect to bridge the individual experience of wellness with peace working on the global scale. So there's a lot more to it than that, but from there we can glean all the different implications and meanings. Fractals upon fractals. Also have some really good news about the Earth Guardians network. I'm really happy to see that there's a Earth Guardians crew up and organized on the Big Island. So that link that I shared with the defenders of Mauna Kea recently, it's very likely that they got connected with Earth Guardians, and helps everybody out, for mutual benefit, protection, and support, and also promotion, of course, But looking at the list of Earth Guardians crews all over the world, I can see that there's one on Kauai, there's one on Maui, Big Island. I didn't see one for Oahu, but it's likely there's one developing there too. And then many of the cities in the United States, aside from that, and around the world. I didn't see one for Portland, Oregon yet, so I'm in the process of developing that. And one of the classes that I'm in college this term to study for the regional and urban planning degree is pathways to sustainability. And there's a lot of people interested in this topic of like climate change and preservation, earth guardianship. So I'm going to print off the promotional materials and bring them there. Tomorrow is the next day of class. It's pretty awesome so far. And things are still proceeding very well with the Temple of the Jedi Order. And for those of you that appeals to, may also want to look into Universal Life Church and get ordained. This is offered through Universal Life Church. But I think that the Temple of the Jedi Order also has trainings and certifications available. They're not related, the Universal Life Church and Temple of the Jedi Order. But through my advocacy, I hope that there will be one. There's a lot more strength in numbers. And I find the Jedi tradition to be a great example of bringing from fantasy to serve us in reality much more powerfully than this stale reality of what we see on television and stuff is serving us. But as you know, a lot of that, most of that came from fantasy also. So really, what's the difference? I think what matters is the quality, the effect, and the influence that these traditions have. So very, very happy that things are rolling along as well as they are. And folks are showing an interest in what we have budding all over the place, these epicenters. I think a great many of you will be happy to hear that I have the envisionings beginning for the new endoskeleton design in the Earthlight project. I was waiting to hear back from Kenneth Snelson and just eventually figured out that he's not really interested in having his science of design and engineering be brought to like military complex and patenting and you know bringing to a larger scale. So he never responded to me. And what are we going to do? Just going to wait and wait in perpetual hibernation? That's not the solution. So what needs to happen is those of us that have the desire and the ability need to blaze the trail. I can do this, but probably not as good as like the expert, like Kenneth Snelson. So recently, while I was in my meditations, I was able to see the beginnings of a structure design for the endoskeleton. As many of you know, I already have in my possession now the 3 petals that are essential for making one of the Earthlight pavilions that could accommodate maybe 150, 200 people, So those petals, shelter, are also as important as the endoskeleton that supports them, lifts them. So having the endoskeleton coming together is really, really exciting. I think I'm going to be wanting to reuse some products, especially if you're going to be using the tensegrity. Tensegrity is a really, really good option. Probably try to reuse some stuff from used stores, tent stakes. Tent poles. With the elastics still in them. But what's the trouble about using the reused supplies is it's always difficult knowing what you're going to find. It's easier to just custom order things and make them from scratch, but that's against our mission of promoting a sustainable way. So we just have to weigh these scales continually. We have to make this dream come true. Can't continue dreaming, perpetually. I think that some of you remember my showing you the imagery from last week. This influence of hospitality, rejuvenation of hope, soul, sanctuary, restoring the root essence to this, which is so powerful for so long. We can do that through the Earthlight Project. There's a lot of fulfillment of prophecy to this, but so many different aspects. It would take hours and hours and hours to explore all the different aspects. And Elysium, Earthlight, it's very similar. Perhaps folks can give some feedback, what they feel more inspired by. Yes, alternatives will be a great opportunity to bring this for that. Make it reality, new way of life, new paradigm. It affects so much: industry, politics, religion, the economy, But not everybody's going to see it right away, of course. So that's why we have the fellowships. We have the communities to gather like-minded, spirited people together and build it from there. The Conscious Party is an example of this. I was looking in the publication 557 from the IRS the other day about the restrictions of nonprofit organizations being able to have political lobbying activities, and there's some pretty tight restrictions, but the Conscious Party is a part of this too. I just want to proceed as wisely as possible to extend the influence to as far and wide as possible. May our ripples ring without winding up into some unforeseen murky waters, or minimize the ghost waves, unforeseen complications. So I'm going to be talking with one of the supporters that put in about $200 to the early development of global community designs. We're looking at gathering together on Friday and showing up for a local peer support organization's weekly meeting. And I'll talk to him about updating his status with working with us. He developed the tradition called Artists for Political Reform, and represents extending the advocacy and activism into the musical world, potentially getting the attention of some really big names and increasing our ability to affect change on a larger scale through, the connections and popularity and finances and resources that a lot of these big names have. It's very ambitious, I would admit that, but a lot of these beautiful dreams are what established our mission, gave this life. It's good to hope, dream, and realize this paradise on earth. So looking forward to a lot of great things coming. Opportunities abound to get involved. What bringing this to a larger scale means is finding things that we can duplicate, or finding organizations that are also present in many different areas. Like Earth Guardians is a good example, and they're present in many countries of the world. So if many of you in the community would like to get involved with this direction, get more influential and supportive, then a good opportunity would be to look at some of these allied organizations and find out if they're near you, you know. The next Engage event on winter solstice, start thinking about what you can do locally just to observe this time of change, you know. It's going to be a really important time too, because that's the date of it's like the new year, I guess, for this tradition, having been established on December 21st, 2012. This is what I refer to as the new calendar of the AR after Regenesis. So the winter solstice is a very important time, and lots of great ideas, you know. Christmas is close, but for a lot of people, Christmas just doesn't appeal much anymore because there's so much commercialism to it, you know. Originally, it was supposed to be for a similar inspiration, you know, similar purpose. But change is a stable of the universe, and we're evolving and serving. Thank you. Guidance. Great. Universal soul. Goddess. God. Bringing us closer. Expanding us apart. Finding each other again is so beautiful. The calling has reached us all. That's why we're here. Share these precious, magical moments together, that we may make thee proud. Together. Yes, we really can. May our ripples ring. Thank you, folks. Until next week, we'll do it about 8 hours before this. So better for the folks on the Eastern Hemisphere. Perhaps even have some participate from there. I know at least one person wants to, and there's another person who I would like to. So, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Shalom. Namaste. Blessed be. May the force be with you.